Welcome to Podcast CV. We are into the podcast of online interviews where HR representatives can have the chance to see candidates with confidence, presentation, and communication skills, which will give additional value to a traditional CV. We have with us today Ms. Gauri Das. Gauri is a senior HR leader who is passionate about talent management and development. She possesses 14 plus years of experience with all gamut of HR management and has been a part of diverse industries such as NBFC financial services and FMCG education. Her strengths include strategic HR, building startup culture, developing high performance teams, HR business partnering, and she also holds a double master's with specialization in human resources and psychology and a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. She's a certified Rewards NPL professional and holds a OD certification from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. She has also been recognized as HR 100 under 40 and by Top HR Mind India and WICA Luminary Growth. She's passionate about women empowerment and is also a leading circle called Leaders Lifting Leaders. She's also a co-committee member for LinkedIn Local Navi Mumbai. So thank you for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Roya. I'm happy to be here and support students in facing video interviews. That is the call of the day today. Everybody is going for video interviews, and the way we are seeing things, future also is going to be blended. So it would be mix of video interviews. At least one round is supposed to be video interviews moving forward. So even if when we are out of this pandemic, this knowledge would still help. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. So let's get started off. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about some core values to remember while partaking in an interview. So let's start off with the first question. What would you say is the most important thing? Would you say attire is one of the most important things?
For me, the most important thing is your confidence and smile. And yes, attire is definitely important, but as we know, you get 7 seconds to make an impression. All of us have a very short span, attention span, and that's where we are able to give only 7 seconds to each other to make an impression. And in an interview, within 4 minutes, your impression is cemented. And once that is done, you cannot change it because then interviewer is only trying to validate whatever they have decided. So if they have decided in first 4 minutes that you are a good fit, they will be trying to justify that. And if it is opposite, they will be trying to justify that as well. So it is difficult if you are not able to make that impression in first 7 seconds and then cement it in first 4 minutes. Right? So confidence, smile, that is most important. Even on video interview, when I'm talking, I'm visible whether I'm smiling or I am frowning or I'm nervous. Everything is visible there. And attire definitely plays an important role because many a times we think that this is a video interview and what is the point because it's not one-to-one, you don't have to go to office, and maybe even your interviewer is wearing a t-shirt, but it's not good to do that. You must follow industry standards. So if it is a startup and they have a culture where they come to work in t-shirts, it's fine, but an industry which is conservative industry, for example banking, you must be wearing suit, you must be wearing full formal. For women, even the makeup part would play an important role. It should not be reflecting, the light should be good on whatever makeup you are using. So all those things will definitely help you create a good first impression.
All right. Now, what would you say is an appropriate background view to have in an interview?
Yes, the best is to have a neutral background, the way you see here. But all of us may not be lucky to have such a background, especially in big cities like Mumbai, where houses are very small and you may not have this kind of option. Right. In that case, try to declutter everything. So there should not be a heap of clothes to be managed, or there should not be a heap of books just scattered around, because that will give an impression that you are not very organized and you don't believe in cleanliness or organizing things. And second, it will also distract your interviewer because you are selling yourself when it comes to interview. And when you are selling yourself, you need to have full focus on you, not on something else. So there should not be anybody behind your back, kids doing something or pets doing something, or cluttered environment as well. So that is the best. Like I said, the best is to have a neutral background. Wherever you can find a white background, or like the way you are having, Roya, that also is fine. And then declutter even if that is not possible.
All right. And how important do you think it is to maintain a good distance between the screen and the person?
Yeah, so this let's experiment. So there is one this, how do you see me now? And there's another one this, how do you see me now? And I'm sure none of these are good, right? And the way we are talking now, the way you have done it for you and for me also. So it's visible right from my crown of the head till my hands, because we use hand gestures, so that should be visible, and that's how the screen distance should be. You don't want to look like a single ball on the screen, or you cannot be so far away that you are not visible. So have a right distance. Try it before the final interview with a friend with the same tool. Because if you are using Zoom, instead of that, if they end up using Google Meet,
Right.
you will look different in each and every screen. So try the tool with your friend, your family before finalizing what would be the right distance.
Okay. Now, a lot of people seem to have difficulty in, since it is a video interview, sometimes they don't maintain eye contact or sometimes their posture isn't right. How do you think would be the best way to go about that?
So I would say think it as an in-person interview. If you have to make an eye contact, so this is very different experience, especially in the beginning. Even for me, I was like, whom am I talking to? There are no eyes to have eye contact. But now I have understood this well, and it's easy to understand, but we need to have this mindset. And I will just tell you an example. It's a funny example. I was delivering a guest lecture for an MBA college, and they asked me that people are camera shy. This generation, which is called as selfie generation, is camera shy when it comes to video interviews. And I was like, yes, it is possible because you are not having anybody who is judging you. There are no eyes who are looking at you directly. But even with that, when you look at the camera now, like you are talking to me, and I can see that you are having your eyes towards me, on me. Now, if I talk like this, then even in the video interview, it is clearly visible that I am not fully focused on you. So eye contact, we need to remember that there is someone, and we need to look at that person. And we should not move our eyes too much, otherwise it will be distracting, and it would also give an impression that you are not focused there.
Right. Okay. Now, you also mentioned the importance of wearing a smile. So sometimes people do tend to, over smile or under smile. How would you tackle that?
Yeah, so it's best to smile while you are speaking also, because smile most importantly conveys you are confident. Like you and I are smiling and we are confident about this discussion, right? If we are not smiling, it will indicate we are nervous. So best thing is to smile while you are talking. Now this will come with practice. It will not happen immediately, and you are not interviewing me, so I don't have that nervousness.
Right.
But when it comes to interviews, everybody is nervous. I am nervous if I have to attend an interview, even after these many years of experience. So this happens with everyone, and a smile indicates that you are in the safe place. You are at the top of your game. You know what you are doing. So wear a smile, and then it reflects good on the other person also. If I reply like this, would you like it? Would you like to listen? No, right?
Yeah.
So the smile gives that opportunity for us to make that connect, and also indicate that we are confident.
Right. Now, we all do have difficulties with internet connectivity. So how would you
Yeah.
suggest a candidate handles a situation like that? Would you check your internet before an interview, or how would you go about it?
Yeah, so just like it happened with us today, there was a problem and there was some disconnect in terms of internet connectivity. Might be at my end or your end. So best thing is to try and keep another system also ready. So if you have a wired network, which is a rarity at this point of time, but at least Wi-Fi connection, if you can utilize, that is the best. If that is not possible, next is to use mobile data and keep both available because it might happen during interview. Like I started today with Wi-Fi network, it didn't turn out well, and now I am on mobile data. So similarly, if I'm not ready, there will be a delay because interviewers' time is important, and we need to show that respect to them that we are ready with everything. And the best way, definitely, like you mentioned, is to uh, have a test run. Test run on both the connectivity, so both Wi-Fi and mobile data, so that you know that both of them are working. And the request for the link, if you are sending a link, then definitely you know the link. If you are not, then request for the link at least few hours in advance so that you can try and you look prepared.
All right. Okay. Now, a lot of people do struggle with, surrounding noises either from within the house or outside the house. So how would that be? How would you tackle something like that?
Yeah, and surrounding noise also is distracting, and it also indicate as an interviewer, I would think that I am not important for you, and that's where you are not taking care of this important aspect. Now, what we can do is there are multiple things. One is family support is required because you need to request them that be quiet. I have this important meeting to attend and shut the door if possible. And if you have pets or young kids, then also you need to keep them away for a certain point of time. And then you have those systems available. If your device is not, speakers is not as good, then you need to use some headphone or some other tool which can support you in this. And the final option, but may not be possible for everyone, is to use those noise cancelling devices, those tools which can help you with that. So first is to, and also since you stay at the same place, you know where the noise comes from. All of us would know if there's a construction going on nearby, then we can inform interviewer in advance accordingly. Or if we know that this is the time for a train to pass by, so we will know that the train makes noise and we need to then tell them this is not the right time to conduct the interview. Likewise, since we know our own environment, we are the best judge.
All right. Now, how important would you say is the listening skills during an interview?
Nothing more important than that. That indicates lot many things. One, if you are not listening mindfully, I would say mindfully, you will miss the question and you will end up replying something else. Right? So there are questions where there can be right, wrong answers also, those technical questions. And if you are not listening properly, then you might end up replying incorrectly. That is one. Second, if you are listening intently, but you are listening to reply, in that at that point of time, for example, if I listen to your question only half, I would be replying to that, but you might be saying something else. And third, when we are listening empathetically or listening intently, then we know what is between the lines. As we always say, it's more important to understand what is said between the lines.
Right.
So listening is an important aspect there as well. And especially when it comes to video interviews, you are not sitting there face to face. You can see me only this much, right? So full body language also is not visible. And at that, because of this, it becomes even more important that you pay full attention to what they are saying. And most importantly, listening indicates respect.
Right.
So respect is one thing that any interviewer would look forward to because most of the organizations will have respect as their value. And if it is not visible in the candidate, that cultural interview or the cultural fitment would not happen. So listening is definitely one of the most important aspects.
Now, for our final question, I do see a lot of interviewees do struggle with this aspect of it. So, how would you say is the best way to conclude an interview from the side of a candidate?
Great. So this is a wonderful question because this question has opportunity to make or break you. You can utilize this moment to create an impression or lasting good impression, and that will give you an edge over other candidates. Now, what would you ask? So again, you have to be presentable and smile. You should not indicate that you are yawning and you are now tired. If interview stretches for more than 1 hour, it is difficult to sit before camera for a very long time. But you have to do it if you want to crack the interview.
Right.
And second, the questions in terms of what would you ask. So you can ask about culture, what sort of culture they follow, what are their values, and what sort of interview process you are going to see next. This is also time to re-emphasize whatever you have told them and whatever is missed out. Listening comes again here. So if you were telling something that this is what is my expertise and this is what I bring to table, and you realize later on that they are also looking for one more skill, this is the time that you can tell them that maybe I don't know this, but this is how I can learn.
Right.
Or maybe I know it, not know it practically, but theoretically I have learned and I can learn, I can come better, I can do better in this particular skill. So that is another thing which can be done. And for this, you have to do good research, thorough research of the company from website, from Google, from Glassdoor, any news, anything and everything that you can lay your hands on. And interviewer would have spoken lots about the company. If you have listened properly, you will know and you can pick up a question like how they are doing, what are their current challenges. So two things in summary I would say can be asked. One is in terms of culture, environment, learning and developmental opportunities. And second, reinforce whatever you couldn't, or reinforce that I'm so excited for the opportunity and I'm looking forward to work with you. This is how I relate to this position. These two things should be done towards conclusion of the interview, so that when we always say no at towards end, what did they take home? So they take home a good impression, they take home an enthusiastic candidate, and they took home this impression that candidate had good knowledge about the company, which means you had done excellent research about the company.
Right. All right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure for having you here with us, ma'am. And thank you so much for sharing some very insightful knowledge.
Thank you so much, Rhea. I hope this information helps. And next candidate, whosoever watches this interview, excels well in the interview. All the best. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful. Thank you once again. If anyone is interested or willing on making the video CV, please visit our website at www.podcastcv.com or write to us at info@podcastcv.com.